Hello, I'm Elsom. Some of you may remember this channel under its previous name, Catholic Facts. It has been a long time since I properly produced content here, and recently I made the decision to rename the channel under my own name. I wanted to make this video because changing the name without properly explaining it would feel incomplete. So today I wanted to talk honestly about why Catholic Facts stopped, why I have decided to return, what has changed in my own life and faith, and what I hope this channel can become from this point forward. This is not a dramatic conversion announcement. It is not the launch of a new apologetics ministry. And I am not returning because I suddenly believe I have all the answers. In many ways, I am returning because I have become more willing to admit that I do not. So, why Catholic Facts ended? When I originally created Catholic Facts, the name seemed straightforward. The channel was intended to share Catholic teaching, scripture, prayers, history, and other material connected with the Catholic faith. But over time, I became increasingly uncomfortable with what that name appeared to promise. Catholic Facts sounds authoritative. It sounds like a channel run by someone qualified to explain and defend Catholicism, answer difficult theological objections, and provide firm conclusions on complicated questions. In other words, it sounded like an apologetics channel. The problem is that I am not a professional apologist. I am not a priest, theologian, academic, historian, or official representative of the Catholic Church. I often found that I could understand a position when reading about it, but struggled to articulate it properly when challenged. When people disagreed strongly, demanded immediate answers, or left hostile comments, I found the pressure extremely difficult. That does not mean people were wrong to ask questions. If a channel presents something as a fact, viewers are entitled to examine and challenge it. But I had unintentionally created an expectation that I was not equipped or emotionally suited to meet. Eventually, producing content stopped feeling constructive. Instead of being excited to research or record something, I began anticipating the arguments that might follow. I worried about getting details wrong. I worried that I would misrepresent the church. I worried about being unable to defend what I had said. And eventually, I stopped. Why I renamed the channel? Well, renaming the channel Elsom is an attempt to be more honest about what this channel actually is. It is not an institution. It is not an official teaching platform. It is not a collection of unquestionable theological facts. It is one person documenting his faith, studies, question, and discernment. Using my own name gives the channel room to develop without pretending that every video represents the definitive position of an entire church. It also means I can be clear when something is my personal understanding. I can say, this is what I have read. This is how I currently understand it. This argument has challenged me. This question remains unresolved, or simply, I don't know. I think those are more honest statements than pretending to possess certainty that I do not have. Where I currently stand, to be completely clear, I am a Roman Catholic. However, I am also inquiring into Eastern Orthodoxy. Over time, questions about church history, authority, the papacy, doctrinal development, the early councils, and the division between Catholicism and Orthodoxy have become increasingly important to me. I have not reached a final conclusion. I have not formally left the Catholic Church. I have not been received into the Orthodox Church. And I am not using this channel to announce that one side has won and the other has lost. I am in a period of genuine inquiry and discernment. That means trying to understand the strongest arguments on both sides, rather than only listening to the people who already agree with the conclusion I might prefer. It also means recognizing that these questions concern far more than winning an online debate. They concern worship, authority, doctrine, community, spiritual life, and where I believe I should be within the church. That is not something I want to rush for the sake of producing more clickable content. So, what will the channel become? Going forward, I want this channel to document that process honestly. Some videos may focus on what I am currently learning. For example, what do Catholics and Orthodox actually disagree about? What did the early church understand the role of the Bishop of Rome to be? How were the early councils received? What is the difference between papal primacy and papal supremacy? What does the filioque matter? And how should someone evaluate the competing historical claims without reducing everything to slogans? Other videos may involve reading and discussing primary sources. That could include selected passages from scripture, the church fathers, council documents, catechisms, or other historic Christian writings. But I do not want to simply read material aloud and present it without context. I would like to examine who wrote it, why it was written, what problem it was addressing, and how different Christian traditions understand it. There may also be videos about books I am reading. Not necessarily formal academic reviews, but honest reading journals. What did the author argue? What did I find persuasive? What did I struggle to understand? What questions did the books leave me with? And did it change my thinking? I would like to speak with people who know more than I do. That could eventually include priests, catechists, historians, authors, converts, and informed Catholics or Orthodox Christians. In those conversations, my role would not be to defeat someone in a debate. It would be to ask sincere questions and listen carefully to the answers. And occasionally, I may simply provide an update on where my discernment currently stands. So, what will this channel not be? I also want to establish some boundaries from the beginning. This is not to be an anti-Catholic channel. Whatever conclusion I eventually reach, Catholicism has played a major role in my Christian life. I do not want to build an audience by mocking or attacking Catholics. It will not be an Orthodox apologetics channel presented by someone who is not yet Orthodox. I may discuss arguments that I find persuasive, but I will not pretend to speak on behalf of a church that has not received me. It will not be a debate platform. Good faith disagreement, corrections, and relevant sources are welcome, but I am not interested in denominational point scoring, personal attacks, interrogation, or endless demands that I defend every subject immediately. There are qualified people who engage in formal apologetics and debate extremely well. This is not the role I'm trying to occupy. This channel is intended to be thoughtful, personal, and exploratory. So I just want to give a word about the older content. The older Catholic Facts videos are still part of this channel's history and part of mine. I do not intend to pretend that they never existed. Some may continue to be useful. Some may reflect a stage of my understanding that has since developed. And some may eventually need to be reorganized, updated, unlisted, or corrected. I have not yet made final decisions about every old upload. For now, I would simply ask viewers to understand that older videos were produced within the context of the channel and my understanding at that time. Where I believe something needs clarification or correction, I will try to deal with it openly rather than quietly rewriting my own history. How often will I upload? Well, I'm not returning with an aggressive upload schedule. I do not want to recreate the pressure that caused me to stop before. My priority will be producing something worthwhile rather than uploading merely to satisfy a timetable. That means videos may take time. Some subjects will require proper reading, careful wording, and perhaps input from people more knowledgeable than I am. I would rather publish slowly and honestly than speak confidently about something I have not properly understood. As I find sustainable rhythm, I will explain it. For now, this video is simply the beginning. So, to those who watched Catholic Facts in the past, thank you. Whether you agreed with everything or simply found something useful, I appreciate the time you gave the channel. To those finding me for the first time, welcome. I am Elsom. I am currently a Roman Catholic inquiring into Eastern Orthodoxy, and this channel will document what I am reading, learning, questioning, and gradually coming to understand about the Christian faith. I do not know exactly where the journey will end, but I want to approach it seriously, honestly, and without pretending to possess answers that I have not yet earned. Relevant book recommendations and primary sources are welcome in the comments. All I ask is that discussion remains respectful and that disagreement is directed towards ideas rather than people. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.